Okay, welcome back, guys. Okay, so let's go over what we're doing today. We are going to show you, that is, I'm going to show you how to create a product backlog using ChatGPT, Mural for planning, and then putting it all into Jira. Right, so without further ado, let's have a look. I'm just going to do a quick recap of what I was up to in the first two episodes. Please make sure you go back and watch the first video if you've not seen it yet. I'm just going to do a super quick recap. Okay, so I've asked ChatGPT, I've queried it to say, can you please create for me a few user stories to deliver a payment gateway? And so it has kindly obliged, and then I went further to break those down into user stories. The user stories then I picked up and I asked it to create tasks from those user stories. I then further sort of queried it to say, right, okay, from these tasks, can you create those tasks? Can you rewrite those user stories, those tasks into user stories? And then I moved those into my planning board, which I would use with my team, my development team. So if you think about it this way, what I'm going to do here is, what I've done here, sorry, is that I've actually asked it to, I've created a user story map, and here is the sort of, you can think about it as a portfolio epic or a theme. The theme is that we want to create a payment gateway for Visa. Then I have a bunch of user stories for that as a customer. So from the customer's perspective, as a merchant, so it's looking at different scenarios that interact with what it is that you're building, which is great. And as a system administrator as well. For those, I picked one user story, which I've elevated into an epic, because I've asked it to then create user stories that are going to be delivering on to this epic. The epic we're focused on is, as a customer, I want to securely add my Visa card details to the payment gateway so that I can make purchases conveniently without re-entering my information each time. The acceptance criteria for that is the payment gateway should provide a secure form for entering Visa card details, validate the entered card details for accuracy and security compliance. From that, ChatGPT has broken it down for me into scenarios. And here are the scenarios. I won't go into too much detail here because I've covered it in the other videos. So what we've done then is we've mapped it out. We've looked at dependencies, we've looked at sequencing, and this is a great place for you and your team to start looking at possibly having these as estimated, possibly assigned to people, and then breaking them down into tasks that different people need to do. So design, UI, UX, development, testing, etc. So the next part is for me to go and bring this all together in Jira. And this is the really fun bit. I'm going to continue as Omar. I'm going to look at my project here, and I'm going to start adding those user stories into a backlog. Now, I've already got a backlog, a project here called Agile Chef started. I've already got things in the sprint, and so what I want to do is I want to start creating some items here. What I want to do is I'm using the free one here, so I'm going to see if I can add an epic. So all I'm going to do is come into here and just start copying this stuff into Jira. Right, so I'm going to copy all of that, copy it. I'm going to bring it to make sure it's in the right project, make sure it's the right issue type. So I'm entering an epic, so I need to have an epic. Where is it going to go? It's going to go into my to-do list. It's not going to go straight into the sprint until it's planned. So the epic name here is, sorry, I'm just going to put in the description first, and then I can copy from the description. So as a customer, I want to securely add my Visa card details. So I'm just going to say add my Visa card detail payment gateway as a title. to that epic. And I'm gonna also, that's also gonna be my summary pretty much here. And then here I've got the acceptance criteria. Who's the reporter? I'm the one who's reporting it. Issues linked, so what is it linked to? I'm not going to link it just yet because I don't have the other items in there yet, and the other items are those other epics. So I can leave that blank. What fixed version? If you're doing fixed version, so fixed version is your releases, if you like. So if you're releasing, payment 2.0, then that goes in there. And then you can assign it to somebody who, if you've got your product owner is usually the first assignee, and because then when you break it down into user stories, that goes into your development team. What's the priority? I'm going to say this is a high priority, possibly the highest, but these are things that you can discuss with your team. Labels, I'm not going to add any labels. What parent link? The parent link is really this big one here, which is the theme or the portfolio epic, create a payment gateway. And I'm not going to do that because I've not created that. And then what sprint it goes into, it's not going into a sprint right now. It's once it's planned with the team and they've estimated it, assigned, etc. That's when it's met the definition of ready, that's when it would go in. Okay, so I'm just going to say create here. And okay, there we go. So view the issue. I'm going to go and view the issue. And here, what I want to do is start adding a child issues. The child issues are stories. They're not going to be, they could be tasks or bugs, but hopefully no bugs just yet. So I'm going to start adding them. Make sure you select user stories, and here I'm just going to go down here and start just populating stuff really. So Control C in here. I should probably just grab the title only for now, and bring that in, because then once I've got all of them in, I can then start adding the acceptance criteria and other details. So that's the second user story, and so on and so forth, guys. I'm hoping this is useful for those who need to create this. If you've got, say, a team that's abroad, you don't have access to your developers or you might not have a product owner that's fully available to you. I wouldn't advise doing this unless it's absolutely necessary. I would definitely go against doing this in a solo way. I'm just doing this to show you guys how to do this if you needed to. Okay. So, all right, I'm not going to do all of them, but you can see what's happening here. I've created the epic, which is add my Visa, card detail to payment gateway, and I've created its user stories. They're all in the to-do. So hopefully now, if I go into my backlog, I can start seeing those items here. So you can see the color code for this epic is a green. It's add my Visa card. It's got all of those items in here. So this is pretty much the first thing you want to do to populate your backlog. Right, okay, so if I click on this, I get a menu on the side, and there's all sorts of great stuff that you can do here once you've got them in. You can, so these design, engineering, in progress, testing and done are my active sprints. My Kanban column, my columns to do in progress, design, engineering, testing and done. And so if I go back to the backlog, I can see here there are no labels, or the priority is a medium for this. You can also start sort of sequencing them, so you can pick things and move them around, drag them onto where you need them to go. Okay, so if I'd like to edit this now, so let me see if I can just, I can left click on this and open it in a, oh, there's all sorts of different options here that you can do. Here we go. So you've got to click on the actual link itself. So AG80 is the ticket number, and I've just opened it in a separate window. So here I can start adding a description. I can, I can sort of change the status of it. I can link issues to it, create its subtasks, etc. There's a whole load of stuff that you can do here. Right, okay. So if I were to, let me just check which one I've opened up, which is use feedback and error handling. User feedback and error handling. I'm just going to check which one that is. That's this one here. Okay, so here in my acceptance criteria, I've got 2 scenarios, and I'm just going to copy those into the description here. And there you go. You've got your acceptance criteria, scenario 1, scenario 2, and again, these can be further broken down into subtasks. So these could be the 2 subtasks. Your definition of done could be that the user feedback and error handling is complete, and those are the 2 scenarios that you need to deliver to do that. Right, okay, so what else can we do here? I think you can change the status here, so you can put it in design, engineering, or it could need more further analysis. So analysis is what you would do in backlog refinement, and you would add an assignee. You can add story points, and here we go. So you click on that. You can say, okay, this one is going to take up. Hopefully you won't say any of that. You would get your team to estimate this. This is really, really important. Do not estimate it yourself unless you're a developer, unless you are gonna carry out the work for this yourself. Do not estimate. Always estimate with your team. But for the sake of this, I'm just gonna put like 13 story points. Clickety-boo. And what else can we do? Components. So this is interesting, because you can say that you can create a new component and say this is part of payment gateways, and you make sure that all this work is within that payment gateway bit, because when you're releasing it, it'll be really important to sort of just filter through that component. So payments. Right, I'm just going to create that as a new component, create component, and there you have it. Okay, guys, so this is how you would bring it in. And then if you're planning to do your Visa card detail payment, just make sure you click all of these, you drag them into your active sprint before you start the sprint, and then when you're ready to go, start that sprint. And that's pretty much it. So I've taken you guys through how to query the AI to get what you need, and then how to use story mapping and for planning with your team. And then I've showed you guys how to put it all into Jira to create a product backlog. I hope that's been useful. If you have found this useful, please share and like with your friends, and like just for yourself and for me. So until the next video, I hope this has been useful. Until the next video, have a great day and stay agile.